I hope you never cross paths with someone like this. His name is Nick, calm, polite, and quietly preparing a murder. Is calmly dripping poison into his wife's drink. He hands it to her, makes some excuse not to toast, and leaves. From a dark corner, he watches to make sure she actually drinks it. The poison takes 8 hours to work. It stops her heart like it's a natural heart attack, no trace left behind. A few days after she dies, he hops on his motorcycle and speeds off to a hidden house. That's where Carla, the woman he's been seeing, is waiting. She's the whole reason he poisoned his wife. Nick was miserable. His wife was older, bossy, always threatening his position in the company if he didn't obey. He was stuck. Then Carla came along, and everything changed.
El cuerpo desaparecido es el de una mujer.
They started plotting this tragic ending together. Nick thought it was perfect. The autopsy went smoothly. He had the big inheritance in his pocket, ready to run off with Carla. Then a cop calls. His wife's body is missing from the morgue. They both freeze, terrified. Carla thinks it's a police trap. Nick insists his plan was airtight. He goes to the hospital to figure things out. It turns out that half an hour earlier, a security guard had run out into the street in a panic, got hit by a car, and passed out. Cameras show him running from the morgue like he saw a ghost. Only one camera still works. All the other footage is destroyed, and yes, one body is gone. Nick's wife. But Nick feels relieved. It means his secret is still safe. A detective asks if they had any enemies. Nick calmly says no. The detective steps out, and Nick quickly calls Carla. He tells her the police don't suspect him, but asks her to come to the hospital to check on the guards so they can confirm the police story. He hangs up and deletes the call log. The forensic doctor asks if his wife had medical issues. Nick says no, and then carefully asks if it could be a heart attack. The doctor says it's very possible. Nick relaxes a little, but everyone notices he is way too calm for a grieving husband. Still, there is no evidence to pin on him. Then the power goes out. The whole building goes dark. Staff tells him to stay put, but he hears strange noises from the morgue. Curiosity gets the better of him. He sneaks in. He finds a metal box in his wife's storage drawer. Inside are personal items and an empty airtight bag. His heart racing, he opens the next drawer. He pulls out a lighter, and there it is, the poison bottle he had given her. Before he can even breathe, the lights come back on. He shoves the bottle into his pocket. Cops come in and notice the drawer has been tampered with. The detective gives him a suspicious look and asks why he is there. Nick stammers that he didn't touch anything, but the inventory shows one missing item. A phone. Nick is panicking on the inside but tries to act calm. He empties his pockets. Everything except the poison bottle. The detective isn't fooled. He reads the label. It is from Nick's own lab. Nick stumbles out an excuse, saying it is just a soil sample he needed. The detective's face is ice cold. Then Nick's phone rings. The detective makes him answer. It is Carla. Nick pretends it is his sister and hangs up. He asks to use the bathroom. Once inside, he calls Carla back. She confirms the hospital story. The guard really was hit. That means someone else knows their plan and is messing with them. He splashes water on his face. Then he notices a window open behind him, and there is a letter, an invitation to some business party. On the back, written by hand, are the words, "Close your eyes, you're still by my side." His blood runs cold. He had seen that invitation at home before, and that phrase, Carla had texted it to him once as a love note. Only the two of them knew it. If this story's got your attention, drop a like and hit subscribe. It really helps the channel grow and keeps these stories coming. Nick realizes his wife might have been pretending to be asleep that whole time. She knew. He tears the paper into pieces and tries to flush it down the toilet, but the toilet is broken. Nick shoves the pieces into his mouth and swallows them, all of them. Then he walks out like nothing happened. Now the cops find a new clue, a ventilation shaft leading to the roof, fresh footprints up there, and someone changed a calendar on the wall to March 20th, 2012. They even changed a door code to that same date. The detective asks Nick if he knows that date. Nick says no, but inside he is screaming. That is the day he met Carla, his lab code. His wife knew all his habits. The elevator breaks down. He hides in a room. He calls Carla. There he sees a bracelet with Carla's name and address.
Por favor. Alex.
Then he looks out the window and sees a shadow. His wife's shadow, staring right at him. Then it disappears. Nick realizes she might still be alive. This is all her game. The water pipe above him stops dripping. He hangs up and deletes the call. The detective is behind him. He takes Nick's phone. They lock Nick in a room. Then a phone rings from inside a body bag. It is his wife's number. He answers, but the caller hangs up. Someone is messing with him. He calls back. A waiter answers. The phone was found in a restaurant. That same restaurant where his wife once introduced him to an old lawyer named Alonzo. She said she wanted to revise their prenup. Nick thought she was joking. Now he isn't so sure. He calls Carla and tells her to check out Alonzo. Meanwhile, the detective gets files on Alonzo. He confronts Nick. He says he thinks Nick poisoned his wife and stole the body. Nick fires back. He says if the poison leaves no trace, why steal the body? The detective smiles. He pulls out a document. Nick's wife gave it to a cop 3 months ago. She had been spying on him. Nick is done.
Alex, ¿eres tú?
Carla later admits she has Alonso's hard drive. It contains their date photos and audio recordings of them plotting the murder. Nick's phone was tapped. His wife knew everything, and Carla might be the real target. Nick tells her to run. A car hits Carla mid-call. Nick breaks down. He tells the detective everything. He begs him to save Carla at her address. The cops go there. The house is empty. No one knows a Carla. The house has been vacant for a year. Nick runs into the woods. He falls. The detective catches up to him. And then he drops the bombshell. The hit and run that killed the detective's wife years ago, Nick and his wife did it. The detective's son remembered one clue. An Avalon Hotel keychain. And Carla? Her real name is Ava. She is the detective's daughter. Together they set up this whole revenge plan. The detective stole the body. Ava pretended to be Carla, got close to Nick, and slipped in the same poison after his wife supposedly died. Now Nick is dying. 8 hours have passed, and his entire confession has been recorded. Solid proof. If this story left you thinking or unsettled, subscribe if you're ready for more twisted stories like this.